very proud. Ready?
It's 6 o'clock, folks. I'm calling the meeting to order. Thank you. As we meet today, we acknowledge that we live in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional and ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We are all treaty people with a responsibility to each other and to this land. This is now time for the public forum. Thank you very much for coming, everyone. You're welcome. As a general rule, we have a limit of the public forum for 10 minutes. Who would like to speak first? Thank you.
My name is Christina Nichol. I live on Central Street. Factually speaking, if I were to write about the past 16 months of my involvement with the Zoe Ballet Memorial Library, it would be a novel with quite the cast of fabulous characters and a few surprising plot twists that even the most savvy reader would not see coming. Instead, I offer these humble remarks with respect for the process and for the responsibilities that come with public stewardship. For the record, I was the chosen director of the Zoe Ballet Memorial Library, having applied through a public RFP process. The initiatives listed in the immediate vision section of the Village Commission's proposal for stewardship of the Zoe Ballet were in place beginning in June 2025 as a result of my work with the trustees to develop, create, curate, and promote the library's reintroduction and reimagining for the community. All of this work was undertaken under good faith, with the understanding that contributions would be accurately named and responsibly carried forward. The care and devotion I brought to this work reflected the values of this community, where thoughtfulness, generosity, and integrity matter. This included renovating the space with a volunteer team of almost 50 people. Youngest readers programming, seniors outreach, community partnerships with SSPL, the Chester Arts Center, the train station, Lordley House, Wayne and Ryan Cameron, the Chester Merchants Association, the late Carol Knox, the establishment of Wi-Fi and computer access for community use that was sourced and donated through a not-for-profit partner, making the Zoe Ballet the only all-weather, year-round, free community space in Chester. I also wish to note that the letter of support in the proposal from Joyce Cameron reflects work that took place during my directorship. I was the director who invited Joyce into the library, and I provided her training. And that opportunity deeply mattered to her at that time. I'll say this in closing. I approached my work as director and steward with deep passion and devotion to what the Zoe Ballet Memorial Library could be for this community. I was proud to serve as a loyal, hands-on, all-in reimaginer of the future. I'm speaking here tonight to ensure that my work, my role, my name are clearly recorded. And if the novel is ever written, it's only gonna need a title. Thank you. Merci. I'd like to be these be entered into the written record of the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christina, and we'll certainly do our best to carry on your traditions. Someone else, please? Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Peggy Wilson. I live at 59 Main Street. I am speaking to the public record of tonight's meeting to ensure that silence is not later interpreted as agreement or consent to the Village Commission's proposal to move its offices into the Zoe Valley Library building. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
My name is Barry Redmond. I'm on highway number 3. I am speaking to the public record of tonight's meeting to ensure that silence is not later interpreted as agreement or consent to the village commission's proposal to move its offices into the Zoe Valley Memorial Library building. Thank you.
thank you. Sorry, there you are. Hi, Aaron.
Oh, my name is Erin Gore. I live on Big Loop Road. I'm here to echo the previous public comments and ask that it be reflected in the public record. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
My name is Diana Hancock and I live on Union Street. I'm here to echo the previous public comment and ask that it be reflected in the public record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And anybody? Yes,
My name is Jonathan Leggett. I'm on King Street, and I am here to echo the words of the previous people, and I want it recorded in the public record.
thank you.
Hi, my name is Deborah Leslie and I live on King Street and I'm here to echo previous public comment and ask it to be reflected in the public record.
Thank you.
My name is Lorraine Sallow. I live on King Street. I'm here to echo the previous public comment and ask that it be reflected in the public record.
Thank you. Yes,
My name is Victoria McGregor. I live on King Street and I'm here to echo the previous public comment and ask that it be reflected in the public record. Thank you.
thank you.
My name is
Rita?
Rita Johnson. I live on Golf Course Road. I'm here to echo the previous public comment and ask that it be reflected in the public record.
Thank you, Rita. Yes,
My name is Stuart Creaser, I live on King Street, and I'm here tonight to support the individuals that are here who have worked hard to create a space that was for the public. And to voice my objection to the process that is being used to remove that from the community.
thank you.
My name is Susan Crocker. I live at 67 Water Street. I'm here to support the comments here this evening and to be asked that they be imposed on the public record. And I also want to raise the question, to sort of put it out there. Why would it be thought that it's not in the best interest of this community to work collaboratively to move forward on the library? I don't understand why this has become a win-lose situation, and I think that's a leadership failure.
Thank
Here,
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm Emily Gore. I live on Beechwood Road. I'm here to echo the previous public comment and ask that it be reflected in public record.
thank you. Yes,
Hi, Geraldine, everyone.
hi, Julia.
Julia Creighton, I live on King Street. I'm here to echo what everyone else has said, to express my supreme heartbreak at what is happening with this dear library. To express my support for Christina and everything that she's done. And to hope that we can reach something that we can all live with, please. That maintains the history of this beloved building and the intention with which the original donor bequeathed this library to the community.
Thank you, Julia.
My name is Bundy Fraser. I live on Haddon Hill. And I just would like to have my support recorded in the public record. For all these people who have worked so hard for the library.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Renee Flynn. I live next door. On the street. And I was away a bit last year delivering sailboats. When I came back, I was appalled to find out that the gift, the community of the library back in 1928 was going to be turned over to an administrative office. And I don't think that was the nature of the gift at all whatsoever. So I'm appalled. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Did we miss anybody?
Keith Johnson.
Gee, I haven't seen you before. Keith.
I just echo the comments that we're gonna hear and have my name put in the public record.
Thank you, Keith.
I'm sorry, for sure.
Keith Johnson, a golf course. Thank you.
I'm Alison Williams from Queen Street, and I echo the same as everybody else.
Thank you, Allison. I think I saw one more hand. No? Well, thank you all. Do we miss somebody?
No, I just was hoping people could just write their names down, so make sure you've got your spelling right. I don't want to get your name.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, even just. Yeah, the back of that was absolutely fine.
You don't know, it's the, follow what I read.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
We need some pennies.
Sorry, just proceed.
I just wanted to see what your names now. Here. Oh, somewhere warmer than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't.
No.
No more. No more meetings. No, that was, yeah.
He goes away so often, it could be constantly being at being meeting.
You move all this stuff from here up to there. There won't be a room for a book up there.
Oh, I think you're over exaggerating, right?
Really?
We don't
Really?
intend to take the whole library, that's the misinformation. So if
Yeah.
part of
A
your.
lot of misinformation in the.
Yeah, I know, I
You
just
know?
want to sit here and
It's been a mess.
maybe it's time for me to leave, but I
Come up with.
can't sit here. Shit on them, but I do sleep.
It is part of the game.
Well, that's exactly right. It'd be time to, for you guys to get much more pliant people.
Bye, guys. If I stay here, it means I don't have to. Yeah.
Well, you get the thrilling, absolutely stunning discussion of the budget.
No, not even tenants. It's a budget status report. That's here.
Okay, I didn't want to interfere with the movement there, so, all right. I think that we are concluded with the public forum and we will move on. If the commissioners would have a look at the agenda and tell me if you are willing to approve it by consensus or if you have amendments and require a motion.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve.
thank you.
Hmm.
Tom moved it, Brandy, you second it, thank you. And those of you who've had a chance to look at the December 17th approval of the minutes, are there any errors or omissions? Yeah.
The motion to approve the minutes.
You moved faster than me there, Tom, thank you. May I have a seconder? Thank you, Laura. Okay, business arising. We have a report on the Zoe Valley Library request for proposals. There's been a slight bit of confusion on that because way that the Municipal Government Act is written, certain kinds of discussions can be in camera, and we will refer to those specifically in our report. And then at the end of the conclusion, once the process is done, it is required that a report be produced that explains how everything happened during the in-camera and the conclusion and the motions that were made. And Laura Mulrooney has kindly offered to read that for us into the minutes.
Okay. The Zoe Valley Memorial Library, ZVML, or the Library Board of Trustees, in partnership with the municipality of the District of Chester, the municipality, decided in late August or early September 2025 that they intended to issue a request for proposals, RFP, for the future governance of the library. After some preliminary review of the history, the warranty deed, and the physical plan, the Village of Chester Commissioners considered a potential response to the RFP at their 17 September 2025 regular monthly meeting. The subject was included in-camera section of the agenda because it considered financial and legal aspects of the Commission governance. See bylaw references below. At the 17 September 2025 Village of Chester Commission, the Commissioners unanimously decided to consider the possibility of a response to the RFP for the governance, operations, and stewardship responsibilities of the Zoe Valley Memorial Library. It was further agreed by the Commissioners that all discussions of this matter would be conducted in closed session. The decision to discuss the ZVML RFP in closed session was made under the Municipal Government Act, MGA Section 408B, Section 2, that sets out 10 topics to be discussed in closed session, often referred to as in camera. The two sections under which confidentiality were considered necessary were 408B, Section 2, A, acquisition, sale, lease, and security of village property. And secondly, 408B2, Part G, legal advice eligible for solicitor-client privilege. The MGA also requires that these decisions will be reported upon in public once the subject under discussion has been decided, and that decision made final and public. This report is prepared to meet that requirement. The Village of Chester Commission met in camera twice at the regular commission meeting on September 17th, previously referenced, and at a special commission meeting on October 8th to consider the request for proposals to administer Zoe Valley Memorial Library. The minutes of the meeting were recorded as required under the MGA and comply with the legislative requirements related to in-camera meetings and have standard evidentiary value. On October 8th, 2025, the following motion was approved to submit a reply to the RFP. The Commission's response to the ZVML RFP is available upon request, as are all staff reports prepared for consideration by Commissioners during the discussion and decision process. The minutes of the meeting under privacy considerations are held in confidence for a minimum of 5 years as provided for in the legislation. Moved by Commissioner Noss, seconded by Commissioner Tom Mulrooney, that the Chester Village Commission agreed to submit a response to the request for proposals issued by the Zoe Valley Memorial Library Board of Trustees and the municipality of the District of Chester to manage and operate the Zoe Valley Memorial Library. Motion carried unanimously. The response to the ZVML RFP was submitted as required on the 20th of October 2025. Although the anticipated response date in the RFP was to be during November, the review and response was postponed. The committee charged with reviewing all responses to the RFP submitted their recommendations to the municipality in time for consideration on the Council's 11th of December 2025 regular meeting. At that meeting on December 11th, 2025, at the council meeting of the municipality of the District of Chester, the motion was approved to accept the response by the Village of Chester Commission to the request for proposals for the governance, operations, and stewardship responsibilities of the Zoe Valley Memorial Library. Subsequently, an email was received by Chair Polly on the 15th of December 2025 from the Chief Administrative Officer of the municipality, Kara McGuire, providing formal notice to the Chester Village Commission of this decision. The matter is now with the legal teams of both the municipality and the commission to begin the transition. This document is the formal report by the Village of Chester Commission regarding the decision made in closed session by the commission to reply to the request for proposals to administer the Zoe Valley Library, submitted by Geraldine Polly, Chair. That's everything.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the commissioner about that report? It's tabled. Heather, does it need to be a motion? I think it's simply tabled. The Zoe Valley Library proposal, there are copies on that table if anyone would like to review them.
I've read it.
Are we ready to move on, commissioners? Yes. Item 6.0 correspondence. 6.1 MODC, the EBI Advisory Committee has been essentially dissolved. Heather and I met with Jennifer Weber from MODC and discussed how things will be moving forward. Essentially, it's going to go to a more of a wider committee, much like our Accessibility Advisory Committee has been operating. The details are still a little vague. We're going to be having another meeting the third week of February.
We were having trouble getting a quorum for
Yeah.
a lot of meetings for that one.
Yeah.
So it's officially dissolved now, isn't it?
The Chester component of it, okay, but the wider, the municipality one is still in operation. I don't think.
Lunenburg County.
Lunenburg County. Yeah, I don't think that we can really say much more because we don't know much more. Unfortunately, we're waiting for them to resolve it amongst themselves, and that's your committee, is it not? Or-
VPAC is me,
It's
but
Lori's.
they're after us as well, but we can do that when it comes to VPAC.
Okay. That is just for information. The ANSV staff position memo is for information. The job ad is out. I didn't even get to that. Is that here? Heather?
No, it's not attached. This is just a letter from
Okay.
the president.
Very good. Report from the chair.
I'm sorry,
Sir.
just
go
a
ahead.
question there. The staff position, have we hired somebody? Are they?
No, the job ad is out and they're getting in applications, so they haven't,
Is there a date set when they expect to hire? Is there a date at which that someone will be
I'm
hired?
not sure where the closing date is. I know the ad is out, but I don't know what the date is.
Okay,
But
I think all we've agreed to at this point is it can't be more than 3,500.
yeah, no, I was just curious.
Yeah.
I just,
I'll,
what happened?
update people.
Oh, yeah, yes, it's still going.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, report from the chair. That's me. We did a lot, well, I did a lot of kind of digging around and investigating to talking about our partnership with the municipality for the beautification and revitalization program. So we looked at the big one was terracing the Giblot. And I did write to a local firm to ask them if they wanted to make a quote on it, but evidently that was a bit of too much of a challenge, so that did not happen. And then Tom and I took a bit of a twirl one day, and we were looking at it and realized to terrace that Giblot is just a mile too far.
A major expenditure.
Yeah.
So we are looking at some other options. We'll have to talk to municipality through our esteemed counselor back there. To see whether or not we can put I'm sure we can, because houses have like a cover over the ditch. And maybe we could have a very modest level part right at the very beginning with some gardening, big containers or something. But we've completely substantially revised our thinking when we actually looked at it and thought terracing that would be like revising the world. So we backed off of that significantly. The other project that we've kind of had in mind, and Tom, I'm gonna ask you to speak to this a little bit because I'm a wee bit vague, but there was a lovely, oh, and I have a picture that I'm going to pass around to you from Jim Barkhouse of the, maybe I do, of the original weather vane that somehow or another, when the gazebo, the gazebo where we had the Remembrance Day and everything, was re-roofed, somehow or another, the weather vane got misplaced. I am convinced it's tucked into somebody's basement or attic, but who knows, you know? Somebody else said they probably sold it for the copper. But at any rate, it was a lovely thing, if you pass that around, Tom. So one of the things that Tom and I have come kind of talking about, even though the gazebo is officially owned by the municipality, it's a community thing. And of course, we all go to Remembrance Day and we all use it all the time. So and since this project is a partnership with the municipality, if we can get some decent quotes and so on, we thought that it would be lovely if we could replace the weather vane and we could have a plaque on the gazebo saying that the village of Chester had replaced the weather vane. But I'd also like in our next newsletter to maybe say, check your basements and attics, and maybe the weather vane is there. So we'll kind of search around to see if we can find
The
it.
lost and found sort of ad, you know. like
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Actively on Facebook,
Yeah.
and maybe we need to find out who did that work on the.
Well,
roof.
that's what I'm hoping Tom knows. Tom, can you give us some info there? Somehow or other, I have it in my head that your father was associated
Yeah,
with.
so I've been doing, fortunately, my father passed away. I can't make that contact anymore, but I've done research. I've talked to some staff at the municipality. I've talked to Jimmy Barkhouse, who recently had this afternoon. I've had several inquiries by longtime residents. That was a valuable community education tool, believe it or not, because people would sit and watch that wind direction and people would be taught about the wind and that. I'm also told that that may be a C-class Chester yacht.
Oh, the boat.
The boat, which makes sense to me to that degree of the era that it was put there.
Where'd the photo go?
When the roof was redone, there's two stories. Apparently, they felt that that caused rot of the roof because it didn't have the proper base mounting, and over the years, the water got in around it, but that
Oh,
was
so
one
if we
story.
mounted it properly.
Right,
Yeah.
but then they put the light back up and there's no, if you look, there's a light base there for to shine onto it.
But
And
no,
it's-
nothing to shine
and
upon.
there's nothing there. It's been gone for about, I guess, maybe 10-15 years.
I'd
and
love
I've
to
had
see it replaced.
So many people ask me, do you think you can find that? Do you think it? So.
It's not a C-class.
No, it's not, Randy?
No.
Okay.
Schooner rig, look.
Yeah, it's some kind of a boat that relates to sailing and force.
That is a schooner.
Yeah, definitely. Tom, was this issue, the gazebo that's in the Lertley Park?
Was that one?
Was that one?
That's right. So that one apparently while I was gone was removed and this one for bigger, for more band space.
So the one we're talking about, this weather vane, was it on the original one?
I can't answer that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
that was my question
I
too.
can't answer that.
This is the one, because you can tell by the photo, this is the one that's where it is now. Now, where, if it was someplace before. I
Cause you
don't
see
know.
that, if that's the original, it got moved to Lertley Park.
It's not on Lorley Park.
Not on that one?
But it may
Okay.
have started there and then when they built.
I just don't know where it
Then they built
ended
it.
up and what's happened to it.
Yeah.
No one knows. So it was done, believe it or not, through a motion of council to have it removed.
Maybe they just chucked
But
it.
didn't
And nobody
just
knows
take it
any
down
more about than council said they didn't want it back on there. So my aim is that council will revisit this at some point, if I can bring it up with your help and support. To have that potentially put in with the proper base installation, which is not difficult, in my opinion. We put all kinds of things on the lake.
What year was it removed?
That's where I gotta do some more research.
Oh, okay.
I've
Okay,
gone to
it's a
staff that were
remote.
there at the time, and some remember it, some don't.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to do more detail, so I am working with your chair to communicate with more people, to try to find out the depth of it. There, to me, there's a community value in that,
Yeah.
being on
there
that
is, for sure.
rooftop,
Yeah,
for many reasons. And there's one.
We're not talking a lot of money here.
I hope not, but I don't know, I can't imagine, but I could be totally
well,
wrong.
now that we have a good picture of it, we can take it
Yeah,
to like
that
a
is the best picture,
blacksmith or
yeah.
someone and
Yeah.
get a quote on it. But that was a wrinkle I didn't know about, that
I would say just-
and I don't blame them if it was improperly, you know, probably
That's what I was.
but there's technology nowadays that it could be installed properly,
I will be working with you, Madam Chair,
okay?
and your. Trustees or commissioners to try and see what we can come up with for further information and a decision.
Did you say you thought it might have been made of copper at one time?
I did not.
Looks like iron to me.
I don't know what the product was.
Someone very facetiously
Oh,
said to me
so-
as I.
Oh, just for the copper, okay, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what it was made
Well,
of.
if it's iron, it should be easily replicable, should it not? I mean,
Well,
you could,
we've talked, we still have blacksmiths in Lunenburg. and around
Oh,
the
yeah.
area, but
Clinton might have made that up.
Who knows what it was made?
think about
I
it
believe.
forever.
It reminds me of there was a guy in Lunenburg called Chris Huck, and he did ornamental blacksmithing, and that very much reminds me of a weather vane that I saw him make, and is on the roof of a house in Halifax.
It's
And it
possible,
really
but,
looks very similar, but
We also have-
he's not in business anymore.
Madam Chair, we also had a local steward, a blacksmith, Stuart Smith,
Yeah.
that was right back. on-
Years ago,
Is he
yeah.
still
Or, yeah.
in business?
Oh,
no,
he's
no,
not
Scott-
even with us
Scott-
anymore.
Scott got destroyed by a snowplow one night and the history is all gone. So, but that's possible, he was, so it's a local somewhere close.
Yeah.
Product, I don't think it went many miles away before somebody said, here's a weather vane that we can use.
I'm sure if we put the word out that we'll find a
You
local.
can see it does
somebody.
relate to sailing and I think.
Oh,
that's-
definitely, yeah, it's a school,
Yeah,
yeah.
and quite apart from anything else, it's lovely.
Thank you for your time.
A nice rig.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Tom, and I know that you're still digging around for us so that we can put something on paper, because I think the deadline is coming up fairly shortly, is it not, for us to come up with a proposal?
We'll look into that.
Okay, and then there's one other thing that came under the beautification revitalization, when Tom and I were, the reason we went out is because I said to Tom, I can't figure out where you were proposing those sidewalks, so we took a tour. This Tom over,
Yeah.
sorry.
Right.
Yeah, all right, this Tom, so because he was talking about, which I did not compute, was all along where the front harbor is, like, once you get past the roadblock, there's no more sidewalks, and then there's that whole area there. My concern, of course, is, you know, how parking is so limited in our town, if we put sidewalks there, we're gonna lose, so we'd have to be talking to the town before we proceeded, but the other thing is, you can't possibly do that unless you get a professional in, get drawings, you know, and measurements and all of that stuff, so Tom and I decided that the smartest thing to do is, if you recall, when they came and did the presentation, there's phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So we're talking about phase 1, which is fairly modest this year, which we're trying to keep in the $5,000 range, but they're talking 20,000 for phase 2. So Tom and I thought that would be a good proposal for us to put in phase 2, to at least get a study done and drawings, and to go to the town and say, would you rather have sidewalks than parking in that area? Because I mean, sidewalks there is lovely along the waterfront, but you lose a lot of parking.
A lot of that could fit in with the ferry wharf, the
Yeah,
development,
That's
right?
what we
Depending
were
on what
thinking.
happens. You were.
Yeah, parking was an issue when we put the sidewalk in that exists. But we brought transportation into the whole deal. The whole road was realigned, the parking lot was moved. When you go to the dock on your right, that all that grass area,
Yes.
that was a parking lot.
Yeah.
And now they put the one in that they put in, and then they put one up at Valley
Valley
Road.
Road.
Yeah.
And then theoretically, those cars aren't gonna be there anyway, right? Once the ferry.
Once the ferry switches.
Well,
to-
yeah.
It'll still be valuable.
There'll
parking.
still be some,
Yeah.
for sure. In the summer,
But where we're.
Not
talking
not
about-
Canfield cars, I mean.
yeah. Yeah, there won't be permanently.
Yeah, we're talking about like it's past the rope.
Yeah, no, I
going
just
up,
mean as part of
And
the
there's
bigger-
no land on this side because the houses property
flush.
comes right
Right,
straight to the road, so that all has to be taken into very careful consideration, and those people. In my opinion, would have to be in agreement. Because we.
Transportation, yeah, they're gonna answer the question pretty fast.
Yeah.
Whether they're gonna
That
entertain.
parking as it exists now, nose in by the rope, past the rope loft
Yeah.
there, is there only real parking there for that, for their
For the tank
restaurant?
workers.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, not on that side. I'm talking about the rope loft side. Is that not where you're planning on putting the?
Rope block, yeah, going north.
Yeah, it goes past.
Yes, I know, and it ends, the sidewalk kind of ends there.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is they're not gonna be too happy for you to say, well, all that parking is being taken away from
No,
you.
all you're doing is you're rearranging everything. The
They
parking
just-
will be on the inside.
They just need to put one of those cement things where you can climb up over it onto the parking.
Well, what we're talking about is a study
Yeah.
that will tell us it's doable or not.
Oh, I see. Well,
It's been
okay.
proposed a long time ago, it never
Yeah.
got finished. The idea is when people walk Water Street. You want the cars in here so they can look at the water as opposed to.
Oh, yeah, no, I
You're walking,
understand,
looking over
yeah.
car roofs.
Yeah, no, I understand.
That's the idea.
I think the rope loft would have concerns about losing their parking.
It
That's
has.
all
yeah.
people of the restaurant.
No, you'd leave that. You wouldn't touch the rope block part. You could.
It's all total consultation.
Yeah, oh, no, it was just something I thought of that they're not gonna be too happy if you say, oh, we're taking all your parking away to put the sidewalk
Yeah, I
in, you
think
know.
that was my concern too.
Yeah.
But I think it's a worthy consideration because it's so beautiful there. And it is a
Yes.
shame that if
It's a
you
nice
drive
walk
along
along
there,
there,
what
yeah.
you're seeing is cars and trucks.
Yeah.
And trying to see over it to see
Yeah.
the water,
Whereas
the boats and the.
Before you get to the rope loft, they've successfully cleared all that. and
Yeah.
have an unobstructed view of the water.
Right.
So it's a worthy thought.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So then after that, I have 5 more pages of the president or chair's report, but most of it impinges on finances, legal stuff and everything, so I would ask you to allow me to move that to the in-camera part of the meeting. Cause it's almost always all Zoe Valley work that I've been doing. Yes, no?
I have
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right. Moving on to the CT's report.
Okay, so very quick cover report this time because we have budget areas to go through. September bank statement has been reconciled. The village's main operations account opened the month with 392,000 and ended with 468, which includes the Q4 tax advance from the municipality. So we're 100% for the year is in now. There's a little chart here to show what our account balances were on January 1st. In the daily operations account, our operating reserve, Lido pool reserve, utilities reserve, and EMC building reserve. Noting that the Lido pool reserve still has that great funding that has to go back.
It looks nice in there, though.
It does, doesn't it? So the budget variance report for Q3 is attached, and I'll walk through that in a moment. A draft village budget document will be ready for review at some point next month. Geraldine and I will be meeting about it. Probably mid-February, but I'll keep you informed. The grid fund administrators are willing to consider the village repurposing some of the grant for accessibility, retrofitting at the library if feasible. And they would need to see cost projections before confirming. Note that their funding covers 50%, so there's a few things to look into on that yet. A grant application has been submitted to Young Canada Works, managed by the Canadian Council of Archives, for a library sciences student. If successful, this grant will cover 50% of their wages and benefits. And that is it for my activity report, so we'll just turn to, I gave everybody a printout of the variance report, since it's a bit tricky to follow it, so only monthly. So just to recap revenue, so the green column is the annual budget, and the red column is what our actual is now, 3/4 of the way through the year. So we've got 25% of it left. So the percent remaining on the right will show you kind of where that is sitting. So village general government tax, that is everything in, as I mentioned. That may change a little bit at the end of at the year-end reconcile, when we get the final documents from the municipality.
Does it usually have much of a swing?
It can be, because what we get is what the total was, and then they back out the low income and things like that contributions, so it can vary a little bit. It's usually a few $1,000s, it's not a lot. Grants in lieu also, that is for federal and provincial properties that they don't pay property tax, but they give us a grant in the amount of what the property tax would be, but we don't know what that is until we reconcile in April. Other revenue, we have there's an amount there for the revenue from the fire committee.
To the end of Q3,
To the
right?
end of Q3, yeah, this is all to the end of Q3. The Eastlink rental tower is complete for the year. The HST offset grant is complete for the year. The transfer from Canada Summer Jobs for the lifeguards is complete for the year, so that is all done. Annual general meeting. So I'm sorry, I'm just gonna jump over some of this because it's all pretty self-explanatory, but you know, 3/4 of the commissioner honorarium.
Does anybody want to just go to asking questions as opposed to going line by line, or which way
I
are
can
you
just
comfortable?
flag where things are changed, where I have notes.
Randy, you're usually. the
Well,
specialist.
yes, basically, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I
Okay.
just got it tonight.
Okay.
And I would at least like to see her hit the notes,
Good.
if nothing else.
Okay, why
Yeah.
don't you hit the notes?
Okay, so commissioner meeting pay, line item 5461, that's quite a ways under budget. I only have expense reports in from the chair so far for the accessibility committee. So Randy and Laura, I know you haven't had a ton this year, but I should still get them from you.
I don't know if I,
Did you go,
oh, I had
Randy?
one V-Pack, I think, and that was it.
The only ones I have, I've already done, so no more money.
I think I'll just call it a day, really, as far as, like, I don't remember doing anything else besides that one V-Pack meeting, I believe, so.
The accessibility committee is really active.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, well, sure, and plus, we had other issues that you had to deal with elsewhere, you know, but I don't have a problem with that, no.
So as I mentioned, the low income property tax exemptions and the nonprofit tax exemptions for organizations. These figures show the interim report I got from the municipality, and they're really low.
We still have a quarter to
Really,
go,
really
though.
low. Yeah, so I'm hoping that we can help more people than this. So,
Are those the only people who asked?
there was, yeah, they have enough, the way this works is we provide the municipality, the municipal finance with direction on where our thresholds are.
Right.
Similar to how the municipality does theirs. And there's an application and then they.
So is the problem that people don't realize they can apply?
I don't know. I was just really surprised that the numbers were this low, because that's not typical.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
previous
so-
years it was in the thousands. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
let's
So-
put that on our to-do list. when we
Yeah.
get to-
So when we get the full year, hopefully we'll see
Yeah.
something different. Elections, and we didn't spend much of this because of acclamation this year. All right, so we're just gonna go through the notes. village newsletter, this has had 2 have gone out, we had budgeted for 4. The Canada Post strikes were amazingly timed to when we had things
Yeah,
going out. So
I-
we should be able to get 1 more out before the end of the fiscal. The Association of Nova Scotia Villages Staff Coordinator at 54.59. Because that hasn't happened yet, I
Oh,
don't
actually,
know if there's going to be any contribution needed this fiscal. I would imagine there'd be something, because
Yeah,
they'll
but
they'll hire
we'll
somebody.
prorate it by,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And we still have all of the money there to play with right now, so.
Bank charges, those are. I'm gonna take my glasses off.
Why are they so much higher than the budget?
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems.
Our best guess is that it's the EFT use that we didn't adequately budget for.
Oh, okay.
How much of that there would be.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah,
So we better bump that.
Do we have the
EFT.
best package possible? Yeah.
yeah, so we'll,
EFTs just cost money.
Yeah, but
and
But
which we
basically
didn't-
a package you
Oh,
can get
I
like
don't know if
just
you
for
can
the,
though.
yeah, I use it for the
basically the
farmer's market.
per,
all the time.
the per transaction is very similar to a check, but we had a lot of checks. So we don't have the same fee attached to those right now because we already had them.
Because for the farmer's market, we do hundreds of EFTs, and if you don't take the, like, I don't pay anything for any of them in the world.
Okay.
So you may wanna.
Let me raise that again.
Well,
Perhaps we
also,
can
don't
do that.
forget, we're working with Scotiabank. Scotiabank, for some reason, it seems to be quite.
They're,
pricey.
yeah, they're pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So well, I can certainly look into that.
And what happens is they want me to call out to some exterior person because none of the in people seem to have the ability to do this.
We have definitely found that on a few matters, I don't know, see. Anyway, but we will check into that.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, we'll budget something more for it, you know.
Yes. Insurance, this is all come in and been allocated now. That number that you're seeing still has a couple of thousand for fire hall, which while we own it, the fire committee is responsible for the insurance as part of the agreement. So that will get billed to them, now that we know how much it is.
What is this broker NSFN fee? Because it turns up 4 times. They're doing very well for themselves from us.
Yeah, well, the actual insurer is intact, the broker is Gallagher. And this is a package that we get through NSFM, the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities, so it's a good, much better deal than going it alone.
Okay.
But, so the broker gets 2.5% of what the cost is as their fee. And NSFM also takes 2.5% because.
So it's a total of
broker fee
5%. Yeah. Wow,
But this number that you're seeing includes all the fees.
okay.
I always include all that in the budget. And yes, so that number will drop in the next quarter when we recoup the 2,500 from the fire committee. For the fire hall. And then cyber insurance. What did I have?
If that's Q3, we're gonna go over budget then at this point.
No,
Oh, it's all
those are
paid.
done. Yeah,
All paid.
insurance is done. That's
So we
100%.
saved a little this year, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
That never happens with insurance.
Rarely, we're under budget, you.
They check their input.
Yeah. That's right.
I've spent a ridiculous amount of time with their invoices.
Yes, you did.
And that's been a rarity over the years. It always goes up and goes over what
Yeah.
we budget. So good luck to us.
So then the next note we have is about the Visitor Information Center. So as you can see, we went over budget there by about 4,000, but prior to the summer, the commission had voted to allocate some other funds from a few other line items, which added up to 7,790. So we actually did, even
Under
with it
budget,
being the
yeah.
first year and having to do all the setup, we did pretty well.
Did we bore you to death?
It's riveting.
We always thought our budget meetings were so interesting.
The minutiae of budgeting, eh? Yeah, yeah, you did that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
See ya.
And then I just had a quick note against the highway directional signs, because we did not pursue that project this year, and that was some of the funding that went.
Yeah, we never spent
And
anything, yeah.
next year, cross your fingers, we'll have a student. Although I will still be asking you for money for some volunteers, because the student won't cover everything.
Oh, at the visitor information, yeah.
Oh, and before we entirely leave the insurance topic, we will need to get insurance, obviously, for the library. That's part of the job. So I've arranged for them to actually come down and do a walkthrough so that we can get proper estimate. And depending on when the handover is completed, again, some of that might hit.
But is this for Gallagher's as well?
Yeah.
And of course, the handover right now is still mysterious.
Lipo, yeah,
That's fine.
And whoever.
yeah, for now, yeah.
It's probably Gallagher's and Intact that have the insurance on the building now. But I don't have access to that, that piece yet. Tim didn't have that information when we met with him.
So you're thinking of just, taking on whatever insurance they already have rather than using our people and moving?
I think it's the same people.
I'd be surprised if Intact doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
they
yeah.
pretty much have everybody, so
Yeah, yeah.
they can probably find the numbers from the municipalities.
Okey-dokey.
But I have to follow up with Tim on that. Okay, so the next note I have is just the public washrooms operation and maintenance, and that is a bit over because we had the roof insulation. We also had the main pump go down and had to be replaced. We had some lines blocked and those all had to be dug out.
We didn't budget for any of that, no,
No,
yeah, well, that makes
because
sense.
The roof insulation we did budget for, we
Yeah,
knew about
I
that,
thought-
it wasn't a
yeah.
lot, it was like 1,500 or something,
But
the.
broken pumps and things. that's-
Yeah, and then the replacement door lock, so these were all pretty significant repairs that we hadn't planned on, but even so, we're not too.
We're
bad.
close, yeah,
We're
we're-
not too bad.
yeah.
All things considered, it's not bad.
Yeah. Lido maintenance is under, which is pretty exciting, given what we've gone through the last couple of years.
Quite a bit under too.
Yeah, so
amazing, yeah.
that's good. We didn't have too many, we didn't have as many difficulties in operationally this
Hmm.
summer as we did last. You know, it's still, like we said months ago, there's always gonna be some degree of leaking, but it
On an old
was,
thing,
it was
so,
similar
yeah.
last year. And again, I just had to note against the Lido insurance about.
And why did the Lido insurance go up so significantly?
I'm not sure if it's that, it's like, the overall package, is actually under, but the way it broke out.
Oh, okay.
Is a little higher on the pool, and I mean, I'm actually surprised, I find that pretty conservative, given the like liability and everything
Yeah, yeah.
connected with pool.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised to see that over a little bit, so we'll adjust for that. in the
And
next
this
budget.
year, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That's never gonna change, it's always gonna be
Yeah,
big.
and given that the main, like the big insurance number is under anyway, it's
Yeah.
gonna drop a little bit more, or like will net out.
Yeah, yeah,
over-
it just,
over
you don't want it to
itself.
be so ugly.
Are you finding this fascinating?
Don't look at me. I'm sure you've been through your own already, haven't you? Yes.
Yeah, and we did a little better with lifeguards than I anticipated as well, 'cause I always put, with lifeguards, I always put a little buffer in there in case there's extra need, or we extend a week or so, and so I always put like a little contingency on that. And fortunately, we didn't go over it, so that's good. So the operating reserve deposit, if we jump down again to the next note.
To be determined.
Reserve deposits are just a reminder, those are made near the end before to protect cash flow. And for the operating, the budget variance surplus last year was 16.5 thousand. So we can hopefully make that transfer
Okay.
to being the year. Okay, sorry, we do have a couple other. There's not as much to talk about on capital this year. So the capital repairs project was completed this year. The phase 2 of the washroom was reduced in scope to remove the Lido ramp portion. And phase 3 of the accessibility project is canceled outright, and that grant will be returned. So note number 4 here, the planned transfer for the accessibility project is not required because the project scope is reduced. There may yet be a transfer for the repairs project. Up to 10,000 was approved to cover the awning.
What happened about, why did the awning end up being so much more expensive than we anticipated?
Because we were just gonna recover it, and then we discovered
And we had to
the mechanism was busted, so.
Yes, we had to buy the whole thing, Dave.
Instead of just recovering.
But that should be a one-time expense pretty well. Yeah.
So just the other couple notes here, that the overage on the awning is to be covered from the reserve if needed. The difference of 6,000 can probably be absorbed in operations budget line 5910 back on the other page. For, which is where part of the cost. I'm gonna scroll back up to it.
What, 5910? Yeah.
In the Lido pool, because we're so under there that the extra, there was about 6,000.
Yeah.
You approved up to 10, but it cost about 6, but given that we're under there, we can probably.
We could have
There, not
that,
have to
yeah.
go to the reserve.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, once those big numbers for retrofits come out, it'll be a little
Yeah,
easier
there's
than it
big-
is.
a big
Looks
chunk.
good right now.
A big chunk of that, because we still have to do the parking lot and the ramp, and I actually was down at the site with the supplier yesterday, just kind of marking out the
Was
parking
Gibby
lot.
there?
He was not.
Wasn't he? It'd be best to have him there when you're
Yeah,
doing
well, we're
anything like
gonna
that.
have to do it again, because we couldn't really see a lot with the
Well,
snow.
make sure that you call him
Mhm.
because he's got like us girls don't have the up there about that kind of stuff that Gibby has.
It's my understanding that some of the funds that were earmarked for other things that aren't gonna be done now can still be used on
Yes.
paving and that
Yeah,
sort of
because
thing.
it's still, so we had initially intended, for example, of just paving an accessible parking space.
Yeah.
but You expressed interest in paving the
Yeah.
whole lot.
Well,
which
if
will
they'll let us
actually
pay for
Give
it.
you 2 spaces.
It will actually give us a couple more spaces than is there now.
Yeah. Now we have to have big signs to say, only the right people. play."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, what's that? Oh, the EMC, well, that's an
Yeah.
easy.
And then the last item, EMC is just pretty much straight operations this year, no capital project.
Went a little over, but not much, I got. Oh, that was insurance. No. No, it was insurance. I'm sorry, that was not maintenance.
I'm gonna give you a ruler. Randy.
Oh, I did. I had been using this, but I just didn't think there was anything more until I saw those numbers. I gather it's just an increase in insurance or something, but it's all paid now.
Yeah, it's all paid. That's-
So I don't
that's
really
everything.
care.
And we're under on the taxes, and so overall, we're under. There's still one more quarter on the maintenance and
Yeah,
repairs line,
yeah.
but everything else is final. So.
So we'll be doing our reserve deposits next time
We do.
at quarter
we do-
4.
Yeah, we do them
They're
late in the
quarter
year.
four, but don't we usually do them at the beginning of Q1 for the next year, because you have to go.
Oh, yeah,
all the
but
way
I
to
mean, that will determine what we think we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
put in there
Yeah.
at the end of quarter 4.
Yeah.
We'll know.
We delay it till toward the end, just to make sure we're okay with cash flow.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
So, because if we need to defer a reserve, it's easier to do that than to come up with some money.
Great.
So there's where we're sitting, so.
We're pretty good.
That's
Yeah, we're pretty
expected.
good.
We're
Yeah,
just.
it looks pretty healthy for this
Yeah.
time of the year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody
Definitely.
have
Expenses
any-
especially look pretty good.
Burning questions?
Okay, you don't require a budget for that, that's tabling the report.
Just variance, yeah.
Okay, And now our fire people, our lovely fire people, you have attached the minutes, I assume, Heather, are there any comments that you need to make?
There's the approved minutes from December 3rd are there. I'll be talking a little bit more about the fire folks later, but just
Your
briefly.
AGM for your.
Yeah,
When
the
I say
AGM.
your AGM is coming up.
And
that,
the fire committee's AGM is on Thursday, February 12th. I know it's so early, that's why we wind up having to do this kind of two-step thing with the budget, which is kind of I'm sorry to have to keep putting that on people's agendas.
Could you copy me on that date somehow by email or whatever?
Yeah.
Where is it at the Legion?
No, it'll be at St.
Saint
Anglican.
The meeting
Oh,
never
yeah.
seems to be available
Yeah.
on the kind of night that we do these things.
Yeah, and the problem with St. Stephen's is it looks so empty, there's nobody
I know.
there.
I know,
Yeah, well, and what day of the week is that? Do you know?
Thursday.
Yeah.
So
You get to.
basically the February fire meeting is the
Hmm.
11th and then the AGM's the next day.
Second Wednesday of the month for the meeting, right?
Yes.
It's now always gonna be that, yeah.
Yep. And the fire advisory committee, I did not have any recent minutes for that because they actually met yesterday, so I don't have that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Heather, and then Lunenburg County Accessibility Advisory Committee, we had our regular meeting. There's nothing new and exciting to report, but they just plugging along and they're trying to implement the previously passed legislation and regulations. It's a slog, but they're very devoted and they work hard.
And you can get a quorum.
Well, we don't have any trouble with the quorum.
Exactly.
Is Bridgewater that or no? Bridgewater is well.
Yeah,
Did they leave?
well, if they're there, they're invisible.
Because they are.
You never hear a word from them, so they could be there. The big activity people are Lunenburg and Mahone Bay. Okay, Randy, do you have anything?
Nothing special. We went over the last VPAC meeting. Heather has enclosed the minutes of that meeting to be put into the minute record of the minutes and stuff. We did talk about that particular issue with the bridge. And also, as I mentioned last time, there was this upcoming thing about consolidating various committees by the municipality. And it almost looks to me like VPAC is going to be rolled in with Heritage Advisory and Municipal Planning Advisory Committee into. I don't know how many people we'll have, whether we'll even have a seat anymore when it's finally said and done. But it's in that VPAC thing, you'll see what
That's in the works, is it?
Yeah, that they've already done away with DEI.
They're reviewing all of them.
Yeah, everything's being reviewed. But VPAC was one of the ones they'd like to do something with. And there were a couple that were considered sacrosanct and they're not gonna do anything. The police one and a couple of things like that.
Oh, yeah.
But they're looking at pretty well. I think that VPAC, MPAC and HPAC or whatever are the three of the bigger consolidations. And DEI's been dumped and, there are a few things, but I understand the reasoning actually that how many times did I go to VPAC? Last year, maybe 3. Well, as long as you're not doing planning advisory, strategies and all that sort of stuff, that's when VPAC comes in to play in a bigger way. When there's land use strategies and when you're revamping every 5 or 10 years, I forget what it is that it has to be done. You get a lot of activity in the various planning advisory committees, but then it kind of dies away. Joe wants you to do this and I see they're gonna have a public meeting about that whole bridge thing. I thought it was pretty well settled, but I gather that that's required of them. And there was a slight adjustment that it didn't go back to the way it was. But it also didn't go forward to what it was going to be unless someone had complained, which they did. So it's kind of a happy medium was reached there, and that was the only difference from from the plan, so.
Well, nowadays it's dangerous to get involved in anything. Just
Yeah,
ask.
yeah, well, I mean, Garth got a lot on his plate sometimes, but I think it's a little easier now.
Okay, well, thank you, Randy. New business, Heather, you're talking about the fire and emergency services budget and the AGM, which we already kind of tickled.
You just change.
Where are we at?
Or we're not at the point of approving the budget.
No,
Oh,
no,
good.
sorry, I'm just looking for the memo, here we go. The exact same memo is already been submitted for the municipal council as well.
You're leaving us, are you?
So,
You can't handle the excitement.
Yeah, there's too much excitement.
He'll sleep while.
For some of us, anyway.
So essentially, because under the agreement, the annual general, I'm just gonna talk off the top of my head. The fire committee's AGM has to happen on or before February 15th. And council and the commission have to have seen it. So
Oh,
before
okay.
it's presented.
That's right, I remember that now.
Yeah,
And then,
Same as ours.
but it doesn't need to be approved until April 1st, so. They're pretty close, so that's the one, they're just freezing it here. Showing it at the meeting, and we know there'll be a couple of adjustments, because, for instance, we don't have the actual assessment rates yet. So that kind of thing will have to go in. Oh, hi, Andre. So that kind of thing will have to be adjusted in the revision, so then the final one will come before council and the commission to be presented in March. So nothing now, just here, if anybody has any questions, they would go to Kirk, but you can send them through me to him, and that's it. Hopefully, we'll see you on the 12th.
Andre, you missed all the excitement.
I thought it was a shift change, and you was leaving, you were moving in on. Yeah.
Well, they were very distressed with us, and you
Oh my
swear
God.
that we made the decision.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of public participation this evening.
I literally do not care.
Anyway.
Okay. We'll move on.
Next.
Okay, rural development action plan survey.
Oh, sorry, this is another just for information one. AMAN circulated a link to a federal, there's a federal group working on a rural development strategy for across Canada. And they're looking for input from different areas of the country. So I just included that so that if you're interested in going on and completing it, so that you get a bit of a say in whatever the feds are doing.
That was on that big package, so I can. Was it?
Yeah, it was in
I
there,
just
so you'll be able
everything
to,
out.
you'll be able to click on the link in the
Okay.
PDF, it works. And that is it. Thank you.
Okay, so Commissioner Roundtable, does anybody have anything thrilling that they'd like to throw into the pot for discussion? No? No thrilling? Okay, we're coming up to our in-camera, but if you don't mind, we'll take a 5-minute break. Heather has some documents that she's going to pass around for you to have a look at.